It's that time of year again. It's the season for giving, and the gaming industry continues to want to just give you shit while you give them money. It's kind of weird. Activision and EA have turned into the Hitler and Stalin of the gaming industry. And it's also weird in the sense of they used to trade blows. Like back in the day, it used to be Activision was the worst company. Then EA was the worst. Then Activision was the worst again. And now EA is the worst, but I think Activision is going out of its way to take back the crown. I mean, Star Wars Battlefront 2 was a clusterfuck of epic proportions, and a lot of people sit there and say, "Oh, get over it, shut up about Star Wars Battlefront 2, the microtransactions aren't in the game." And it's like, it's only not in the game because people cared enough to voice an opinion. Had no one said anything, had everybody sat back and shut the fuck up, it would have been in the game. Alright, it reminds me of that old World War II poem. First, the Nazis came for the Polish, I said nothing. They came for the Ukrainians, I said nothing. They came for the Jews, I said nothing. They came for the Gypsies, I said nothing. Then the Nazis came for me, and there was no one left to speak up for me. Except in this instance, the Nazis rip down your pants, take your wallet, and then call it reoccurring spending. I know that I paraphrased it poorly, please forgive me. It's not off the top of my head, and I'm not going to be one of those people that sit there, Google it, and then read it off like I truly remembered it, verbatim. Well, anyway, it's the Christmas season, so every game and their mother is putting out Christmas DLC garbage or Christmas theme atmospheres. And it seems that Bungie has once again slapped the fans directly in the fucking face. I mean, pimp slapped them. They gave them a back and front hand slap.
Slap me around and call me Susan.
I warned you, Susan.
The funny thing is, it presents itself as this whole sort of, hey, you could have snowball fights with other players, you could take your snowballs and throw them at enemies and give them a slow debuff. But underneath all of that sort of Yuletide bullshit they're trying to shove down your throat, they've also found a way to kind of nickel and dime people a little bit more, which honestly is surprising. After all that's gone on, after Bungie and Activision getting in trouble for their XP curve that they put in the game but didn't tell anybody about, and then they sat there and said, "We're sorry, we didn't mean for this to happen, we'll reverse it, we're looking into this and we agree it's wrong," and then they do this right at Christmas. Now this was a Reddit post that was taken down recently. NL, a bruiser. The dawning is obviously another big business test for Bungie. They put every bit of content behind microtransaction, but there's one thing. When Overwatch runs a seasonal event, those become the loot boxes for the length of the event. When I level up during the Summer Olympics, I get summer loot boxes. Hitting a level up last night and seeing that I got normal bright engrams and not seasonal ones seems incredibly cheap on your behalf, Bungie. Incredibly cheap during Christmas, the season for giving. They're giving you a lump of fuck you, pay me for the coal, bitch. You're telling us that you don't want us participating if we don't pay more. Most of us have paid you $80 so far at minimum. That means the game and all the bullshit DLC. And that's an insulting stance to take with a player base who is showing you more loyalty than I'm starting to wonder you even deserve lately. If it took this guy this long to realize that Destiny was a big piece of shit, I don't know what to tell him. He must have really been into Destiny. I played Destiny 1 on PlayStation 4, and I was like, okay, this is kind of lame. Like, no. And then I played the beta for Destiny on the PC, and I'm like, this is just like the last game. It just looks a little better, and the sound's a little nicer. I mean, aren't they implementing the same shit from the last game? Isn't like that 3 gold coin crap back? And I'm hearing it's not as good as before. And didn't they just put out a DLC that locked people behind a paywall so they couldn't do certain end game events because they needed to buy the DLC to level themselves up? And now Bungie does this, and they're getting lambasted for it, and they full on fucking deserve it. Destiny 2 The Dawning backfires. Players launch Remove Eververse form campaign. And in all honesty, I support them doing this. Fuck Destiny, fuck the Eververse, fuck the fact that you only get so many bright engrams for seasonal. Like, you can get seasonal bright engrams, but they're few and far between. Like, you really have to fucking grind to get these bright engrams. At the point of where it must feel like being a coal miner, except instead of mining for coal, you're playing Destiny to get some fucking, what is this fucking stupid dust called again? I'd almost rather get black lung. Now, I'm going back to the point of what I was saying. I support them doing a campaign to remove it, but it's not going to change. The sad thing is all these campaigns, and I know I hate to be the guy to say this because there are people who send me this stuff all the time. Sign this petition. We're going to put it out and we're going to take our games back from these companies. And I just want to say it's pointless signing this petition. Nobody gives a fuck about change.org. Chris Carter from Destructoid had some very scathing words for Destiny in his recent overview of this fantastic dawning Christmas event that really spreads the cheer. Apparently, ghosts have now been linked to real money transactions. And he says, I quote, I had issues with the idea of trying mods, which impact gameplay, ever so slightly, to microtransactions day one. It's a slippery slope, especially since you can break down those low quality mods down into more useful materials to buy really good ones to upgrade your power level. But now that we have ghosts linked to real money transactions, it's even slimier. Ghosts directly provide buffs to the player, allowing them to earn various items slightly quicker. And the new event doubles down on ghosts. But that's not the worst part somehow. You know how like 99% of games that offer loot boxes will convert the ones you earn by leveling up into seasonal boxes engrams. During the actual event, yeah, Destiny 2 doesn't do that, only offering sparing and limited engrams when it deems you worthy. Instead, you're earning regular old bright engrams by leveling up, with no attachment to the winter event. The one that's basically shoved in your face with atmospheric, unavoidable themes and a pop-up for quest for each character you log into. It's kind of a reminder. Go to the fucking real money trader and buy some silver, you cheap son of a bitch. It's Christmas, you dumb bastard. The more I read about this, the more it becomes a confusing mess that seems like it's pretty much geared towards making as much money as possible. Not giving people the straight up seasonal rewards and leaving them with the normal stuff and occasionally giving you a little something just seems disheartening. It would turn me off the game completely. I don't know what Bungie's thinking, especially after all the mistakes they've made, especially how mediocre Destiny 2 is. I mean, I'm sure there are people who still like it, but the overall consensus I find for most people is they only play it because their friends play it, and the rest of the people that I've met that play it have told me they've uninstalled the game. There's tons of videos on YouTube, even from bigger YouTubers, are saying they're done with Destiny, and the last DLC was the final straw that was poorly put together and just popped out, and it was unfulfilling. If I were a company, I'd be afraid. But it doesn't seem like they give a shit. And that's because most people continue to play the game. Most people won't even bother. Most people sit there and go, stop your bitching, you don't have to buy the microtransactions. Well, it's not going to stop. You know, unless people actually stand up and not buy the game, there's no way around it. And frankly, that'll never happen. Why? Because gaming is now about casual gamers. You think about it, most of your favorite franchises have become more and more easily accessible and easier to play. More stuff is put behind paywalls. There are more loot boxes. There are more skin selling. There's so much BS to just coax you into spending your money. And the people who have enough foresight to look at the writing on the wall and say, I will not participate in this, I am not a mindless sheep, you're replaced by 10 other people who are like, cool, take my money now. And they put up the little Fry gif from Futurama, and you sit there and think to yourself, the gaming industry's fucked. Everything's fucked. It's time for a new fucking hobby. You have to pay for shaders. I mean, there's so many elements of Destiny for things that were free or implemented in the first game that weren't meant to be turned into what they are now. And it just seems like I don't think they care, because they know nothing will be done. Nothing's going to stop them. Oh, wow, some of our fans got mad and put up a forum telling us to remove the Eververse. They could suck a dick, we're making too much money. And Twitch streamers, like, sitting there complaining about it, but you still bought the game, dude. You're still streaming the game. You just can't play a game, you know, and then see that it has shitty practices, or you've always known it, and then one day just go, you know, this is bullshit. I'm going to scream about it because right now the iron's hot. And people go, yeah, Destiny's bullshit. Here's some tips. Having a gaming company must be what it's like to feel like you have complete and utter impunity. And you know what's going to happen after all of this? You know, Bungie and Activision will put out a statement. They'll say they're sorry. They'll say they understand and they see that this was a mistake. A lot of people were put off by it. We're fixing it now. You know, the next 24 hours you'll be able to get your bright dust instead of normal dust. And you could dust yourself off and play the game some more to try and get that armor set and all the damn color swatches you need to change the color of your armor to fit your aesthetic purposes, because you're a non-binary character. And the process will repeat itself. That's what happens. That's what Destiny has done, like, what, 2-3 times now? They'll say they're sorry, everybody accept it, everyone will move on, then Destiny will do something else stupid in a couple months' time, and then we'll all be back here doing this shit again, and I'll be talking about it, or maybe I won't even bother. Maybe I'm wasting my breath, maybe it's pointless. It's fucking Christmas. This shows you, this is a perfect example of Christmas in America. This is consumerism right here. It's a company that sees they can make a shit ton of money off of people during the holiday season. They're probably sitting there thinking, well, Snyder, how can we make more money? Let's put the special bright engram dust and make it sparse so people are forced to pay for silver in the game so they can buy what they really want. That's genius, because I'm sure most of these people have some extra disposable income from family members, so they won't have any problem spending that extra income on our Destiny. These are great ideas. This is why we make the big bucks. And at that point, I may as well get the hell out of here, because my cat is clawing at my bedroom door, which means there's a shot he's in there, and he might have attacked my laundry basket, because I keep it in the bedroom so the dog can't get to it, because if I keep the laundry basket in the bathroom, the dog will get into it and start chewing it up. So now I got the issue of the cat chewing my laundry basket. I lead a very adventurous life right now, because I refuse to... What the hell is the dog eating?